Welcome to Mad Dog and Merrill's red and white tailgate party, and man, are we having a good time today already.
It's going to be a fun time, I'll tell you. Oh, I'm having a hoot of a time, let me tell you, folks. We're going to be right back. We're having a good time. We are at the Vintage Brewing Company at 674 Whitney Way in Madtown, Wisconsin. We'll be right back.
Mad Dog and Merrill's Midwest Grillin' is brought to you by All Natural Golden Plump Chicken, Cherry Delight, and by Crisp Kraut Sauerkraut.
Welcome to Wisconsin Tailgating with Mad Dog and Merrill. I'll tell you, have you washed today?
I've washed, yes I have. Matter of fact, I've washed twice today. How many times have you washed?
I'm going to wash my loin today. I am, my pork loin.
Okay.
My pork loin.
Oh, I hope so.
You know, I was at the grocery store. I was looking at all these gorgeous steaks.
All right.
And we like to give them a little wash, like to bread them and put them on the grill like Sicilian style.
Right, yeah.
With the breading. And I saw this beautiful pork loin sitting lonely.
All by itself?
Lonely all by itself.
Just sitting there and saying, please take me.
So I've got a 3 little step procedure. First of all, my little travel cue, my Napoleon travel cue is good and hot. In fact, I even have a skillet going for the next segment where I'm going to do some nice mushrooms and onions and green beans and stuff to go with the steak. But here's what it is. We're going to do a little egg wash. So I've got a couple of eggs, and I only needed one, but it's just fun cracking around.
Well, you're always safe with 2. Do you know that?
Yeah, you absolutely,
I
because you never know.
Egg for everything.
I might have about 5 steaks there, so you never know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give my little egg a little twirl, and we are at the Vintage Brewing Company, and you know, there's brew pubs, and there's brewing restaurants.
Right.
This is a gorgeous brewing restaurant. It's a scale that's wonderful, and you'll
way
never,
up there.
When you walk in the facility, you'll never believe how gorgeous it is. The beautiful vats amongst the nice, relaxing setting. And it's fall time, so they have a pumpkin disorderly as one of their brews, and they've got about 16 to 18 beers on tap at the Vintage Brewing Company. So I'm going to use a little pumpkin disorderly, and just a splash to get the flavor of the beer in there. And I'm going to give that a little swirl, and that's going to be my bath for my loin. But before I get started and getting messy with the loins, this is a nice little white corn.
All right.
It's a white corn mush or white corn meal, if you will. And I'm going to take, in fact, we have good friends at Oneida Market on Packer Land in Green Bay. And if you get a chance and you're in the Green Bay market, our good friends at Oneida Market on Packer Land Avenue have some great stuff. In fact, one of them is chai teas and teas.
Oh.
And I've used the chai tea, and I was going to cut the slices. Let's do it that way. Let me think.
I think so too.
Let me hear it. I'm going to see. We had a seasonal that's absolutely wonderful, by the way. It's got all the great little seasonings of a seasonal with a little more Lowry, a little more Sour and turmeric. It's ground up in Oak Creek, Wisconsin, so it's all locally produced. So I'm going to take a little sodium, little seasonal, and I'm going to mix that into my cornmeal. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut our loins into steaks, and I've got the grill set at a nice high heat. So I'm going to cut a few loin steaks, and I'm going to do this a different sort of way. I thought about doing it this way, and I thought it might not work, but it's only television.
It's only you know, and you can decide whatever you want to on television because it's our show.
And if it doesn't work, I can still say it works, and you'll believe me.
Yep. Well, I don't know.
So I'm going to take some of that chai tea, and I'm going to rub that into the steaks, the now beautiful pork steaks.
And I'll tell you what, I got to say something on the chai tea. If you ever tried teas, you know, you've seen us do it with the coffee rubs. Chai tea is one of my favorites. I have to admit, I've definitely used it before. But the flavor that comes out with even using any type of tea rub is absolutely phenomenal.
I mean, there's ginger, there's cardamom in there. I can't read. There's cinnamon and all kinds of black tea in there. So now here's my idea. I've pounded it in there a little bit, so now I'm going to take that and put it into my wash with the rub on there. And it's all going to stay on there. So now I've got a rub, plus I'm going to take my wash with that beautiful pumpkin disorderly. And I'm going to put that in my seasoned cornmeal. And honest to goodness, if you got a good cast iron skillet, first of all, you can sear yourself one of the best steaks you'll ever have in your life. But I'm going to simply take mine, season up, and I'm going to do the rest of these while Merrill's cooking away here. But I've got a good hot heat, and I'm just going to take and throw those on my little Napoleon travel cube at the Vintage Brewing Company with a glass of pumpkin disorderly.
Well, I'll tell you that you have some great choices of beer here. Unbelievable beer. Their ale is one of my favorites. You know, it's sort of pork chop day today. Pork
You're
steaks.
doing pork too?
I am. We never plan on what we're doing, but doing some nice pork chops and some pork steak. I've got some going on over here, which I've just went ahead and just oiled, browned up. I'm going to put these in a pan a little bit later on. But I like doing a rub. We've mentioned this before. You know, if you go down to St. Louis, pork steak is the big thing down there. Pork steak instead of brats. They eat brats and everything, but pork steaks is a really big thing. I'm going to do a rub. This time I'm going to spice it up just a little bit. I have some brown sugar in there. I'm going to use a little bit of a chili powder. And you could use as much as you like on there. There again, use the old taste method. I'm going to spice mine up a little bit. And then there again, some paprika, usually mainly for on color. And now I'm using a little bit of our grilling magic, mainly for the fact it's a little bit lower in sodium. And that's going to blend really well with this really good rub that I'm going to mix all together
It's a
here.
nice little garlic pepper blend. If you love garlic and pepper, grilling magic is phenomenal.
Now, if I wanted to, I could have added a little bit of olive oil on here, but I'm going to place this rub on here dry, and this is why they call it a dry rub on your pork steaks, even on your steaks. But I'm going to rub that right in there. You're going to see the really nice color that it's going to really create. And I should actually let this sit out for maybe another 30 minutes, even stick that in the refrigerator, even for a couple hours. But I'm going to rub that really good. Do that on the other side. Place the rest of the rub in there. Now you want to grill this really on a nice low medium heat, just for the fact that I've got brown sugar in here, and that'll definitely caramelize that a little bit more on there. Brown that up very good.
I made you some eggshell soup.
Oh man, do I love eggshell soup.
Hey, we'll be right back. I'm going to toss some mushrooms and onions. Merrill's got something up his sleeve. I know he does. So stay tuned for more of Wisconsin Tailgating with Mad Dog and Merrill. We shall be right back. Welcome to Wisconsin Tailgating with Mad Dog and Merrill. Don't forget we are at the Vintage Brewing Company at 674 Whitney Way in Madison, Wisconsin. It's a great time, great place to visit before the big game, red and white.
Boy, red and white, boy, you got everything decked out. I'll tell you, you're going to eat good, aren't we?
You know something, we've got the seasoned pork steaks, the pork loins that I cut into steaks, and those, seriously, you got to be a little careful the first time you turn them, but they're crisping up just nice, they're browning up just beautifully, and I'm going to let them slow cook just like pork should be done, slow cooked all the way through. I've got a hot skillet, and I'm going to add some cold oil to that hot skillet.
All right.
And that way the food won't stick, so I got plenty of great little olive oil in there. And I'm going to start out with my onions and peppers.
Okay.
I'm going to throw some mushrooms in there. Green beans don't usually be found in a dish like this, but green beans are going to add that little texture that everyone's going to wonder about. I've got 3 big tabs of butter that are going to melt in there. I've got a little zucchini and some summer squash, and I've got about 6 cloves of garlic.
Well, I'm going to thin your blood out, buddy.
Isn't that going to be nice? So I'm going to mix that all together, and the last thing I'm going to add is I've got some remaining fresh sage in my garden. So I'm going to take some fresh sage, and I'm going to make some little slices of those as mine is simmering away. I'm going to take some fresh sage, and I'm just going to simply mix that up. Maybe add a little more oil to it, and I'm going to let that all simmer down with that butter, the rich oils, and I'm going to cover the grill up. I'm going to add a little more oil, and I forgot one major ingredient, ladies and gentlemen, Grandma Hazel.
So never forget Grandma Hazel.
Garlic, peppers, onion, fennel, celery, red pepper, green pepper, onion. Grandma Hazel's is the best in everything and on everything. So I'm going to add a little Grandma Hazel's in there, mix her around one more time, and just kind of let it slow cook, and that's going to be our topping for our chops with a small sauce I'm making too.
Boy, it is pork day. The veggies are going to look good. Doing some pork steak, pork chops over here. This is the rub that I had put on earlier. You can see where the brown sugar caramelizes up here at the top.
Absolutely.
Little paprika, little chili powder, a little grilling magic. Flip that over. See how that caramelizes? You want to make sure you go on a nice, low, medium style type of heat. Now, you mentioned down in good old St. Louis, they do like their pork steak. Another way that the other people eat pork steak, obviously, if it was Wisconsin style, I just add the old sauerkraut on there, maybe a little bit of beer, maybe some cut up apples, and sear that up and place it right on the grill. But in St. Louis, a lot of them do it this way, and they cook it for a real long time, but by gosh, it works. I'm taking some of our garlic barbecue sauce in there, and I'm going to just spread this all over the pork steak.
Well, if somebody knows how to spread it, it's
You
Merrill.
got it, you got it. Place it on there, and I'm going to add some beer. And there again, pumpkin disorderly. That's got a little spice in there. That's going to add some flavor in there. Just covered enough on the bottom. And then I will sear this up. I'm going to seal it up with some aluminum foil. And I want to let that bubble for a good 40, 45 minutes, maybe even an hour, where you just want it really nice and tender. Seal it up, place it on the grill, put the hood down, let it cook. It'll come out absolutely delicious on there. Like I said, you can go ahead and add the sauerkraut on there, but I'm just going with the barbecue sauce and the beer. They'll all mix and blend together. Oh,
Hey, we got 4 great barbecue sauces. They are the best. They are number 1, and number 1 even says number 1. It is the sweetest, richest barbecue sauce that man or women need for their next tailgate party. Number 1, sweet and rich. Then we head on over to our hickory, the actual essence of hickory. There's a nice company in Manitowoc, Wisconsin called the Red Arrow. The Red Arrow makes the essence of hickory. Drop by drop goes in this bottle. Number 1, sweet and rich. We add extra hickory to that. We're gonna jump to our habanero-based barbecue sauce. It's
nice
our
spice.
Sweet and rich with a habanero. Beautiful, hits the palate in about a second or two, then it just mellows away. It's phenomenal on wings, on pork, on beef, and all things that are on the grill. And over here is the best in the world. If you love garlic, it's phenomenal. It reeks of garlic, ladies and gentlemen. Look for all 4 barbecue sauces in the grocery stores. If you can't find them, tell the grocery manager, please get Mad Dog and Merrill's, the 2 good caricatures on the front side, the 4 great barbecue sauces. We do appreciate it. Guaranteed to be the best sauce you'll ever have. We're going to be right back. I'll tell you what, we're going to go. Merrill had a chance to talk with Tom Schneider from Silica for your home. And Merrill had a chance to talk with Tom Schneider about a grill that does both gas and charcoal.
Gas and charcoal, it's phenomenal.
Well, let's take a look.
All right. Welcome back to Mad Dog and Merrill's Tailgating. I'll tell you, I'm a little excited today because, you know, now we're going from, you know, you've seen the Napoleon tailgate grills that we cook with. Now we're cooking with the Big Daddies, and we're talking to Tom from Silica. And Tom, how's it going today, sir?
It's going great, Merrill.
That's good. Well, hey, why don't you tell us a little bit about the grills that we've got here? What grill is this that we got from Napoleon?
This is the Napoleon. This is their Prestige series. This is their grill that can do both gas and charcoal all in one. So
Gotcha.
It's a great grill.
And that's one thing that I really like about this, because a lot of people, you know, you're seeing a lot more people. They like to grill during the week on the gas because it's convenient.
Right.
You know, but the charcoal, you know, you want to do that on the weekend. But what's nice about this is we're using the natural charcoal.
We're using the natural charcoal, and it's easy to light because you can turn the burners down below.
Right.
To light it. You don't have to use the lighter fluid. You don't have to get any of the.
I got to be honest, all right? We come out here and I go, well, geez, I don't have any matches. Tom, do you have some matches? And he goes, well, you know, you just turn it up over here. And I go, oh, yeah, that's right. I'm a professional. But it is great. It lights right up. You have no problem at all. The one advantage that I do like on this grill, and we were talking about this earlier, obviously we got the gas part over here. We've got the charcoal. I'm cooking both on the gas and the charcoal right now with on the chicken wings. But the one thing that I want to add is we got the infrared burner on here.
Yeah.
And to me, this is a great accessory because when the infrareds came out, it was good. A lot of people got a lot of the infrared grills, but it's really too much of a hot heat. It really cooks right at the meat product there. But now you've got something as a side burner. Why don't you tell us a little about the infrared?
Well, the infrared burner, exactly, for steaks
Right.
is terrific. It gets up to 1,800 degrees right on the burner, so it's great for searing your steaks. It does a great
Exactly.
job. It's not the traditional side burner, but for the
Right.
searing, it's wonderful to work with.
Yeah, it's just an absolutely great grill. Advantages on these grills. How many burners does this grill
Well,
have?
this is a 4-burner, and I
Right.
know you guys love to do a lot of indirect cooking.
Right,
So
exactly.
with the 4-burner, it gives you so many options to do so much indirect cooking.
Sure.
But you do have the rotisserie. If you do
Right.
want the rotisserie on the back, you do have that option too, which
You've
is
got it.
wonderful.
You've
But
got it.
yeah, with the 4-burner, it works out terrific.
You know, and you've got the heat sorts in the back here for the rotisserie. What's really nice here, even for the top shelf, is that you have plenty of room for up above for the top shelf. A lot of grills that you see have very little room, or you put it down, the top completely comes down, and it just doesn't work there.
Exactly. So you have the room to do your grilling down below, and it's still a
Right.
nice source.
Now,
for
what
you.
are actually some of the warranties on a grill like this?
The warranties on this is 5-year warranty on a lot of the burners and a lot of the accessories, things like that. The most important part. The one thing that this has is it has the jet spark igniter. which is a fantastic igniter.
Really?
Number one thing to go wrong in your grill is
The igniter. I have a lot of people ask about that.
Exactly.
All the time. How to explain that? to me?
Well, the jet spark, what it does is it protects it away from the grease.
Okay.
So in other words, it's not going to get the grease on the igniter itself to take it out.
Gotcha.
And with the jet spark, what happens is it's away from the flame, but when it sparks, it shoots at the flame and
All
it
right.
lights up right away. So you're going to have a grill that the igniter is going to last the life of the grill,
That's
and
good.
it's going to light up for you.
That is.
Great,
And it's a
great.
very, very good quality grill on there. I like the height of it where you can go ahead and cook on it. You got the infrared burner, you got the charcoal. Big thing, and we've got the food on. I think I'm ready to eat. Are you ready to eat?
I'm ready to eat.
We're ready to eat. We'll be right back.
Well, Wisconsin tailgating with Mad Dog and Merrill, I'm ready to platter her up. Let me tell
All
you
right.
that. There's a couple of those great little pork loins I did breaded. We're gonna add a couple of those on top of there. We're gonna add a little bit of our wonderful little mushrooms and green peppers and green beans and get
Ooh.
those all plattered up. That's gonna be delicious, but we need a little sauce over the top. So we're gonna take a little bit of our spicy barbecue sauce,
All right.
just a squeezins of our spicy, a little bit of Worcestershire, some jalapenos cut up, a little bit of, this is actually a garlic paste. And I'm gonna add a little garlic paste and a little bit better off red because we're doing red and white tailgating.
That's right, sir.
A little red and white, but just about a capful or two, just enough for the flavor. Where are you? There you are. And I'm gonna blend that all together and make just a nice little sauce.
That'll be
And
good.
don't forget, the next time you're in the Madison area, you got to stop at the Vintage Brewing Company. What a wonderful place. And I'm going to platter this on there. I'm sorry that's not the way to do it. Martha
Well, it's
Stewart
our
style.
style. What do you mean? Not the way to do it.
And there's a great little sauce to serve with that. That's going to be delicious, by the way.
All right, here we got the old pork steaks going in here. They're just a bubbling away, as you can see. I'm gonna let those go for another good 30 minutes. They're right in the beer and in the barbecue sauce. Let that simmer. We've got the rub, which is the brown sugar, the cumin, and the paprika on there. I've taken some cabbage, and what I've done here is I'm going to go ahead and just turn this. I oiled this. I lost some on the side, but I oiled some of this. I'm going to brown this up on both sides, 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Brown it up. I got a little bit of avocado for a little appetizer earlier, as you can see. And what I've done here is I've taken an avocado. I've sliced it in half. I browned it up just a little bit, oiled the edges there, put a little bit of salsa in the center of this, and not that much, really. You just want a little bit of salsa. It works better when you use a spoon.
What's great is I'm eating that chai tea pork and I ain't listening to a thing you're
I
saying.
hear you.
Oh, man,
Stuff
that's
that.
delicious.
Place that on the grill. You're just going to put the hood down, let that go for
Oh.
a couple of minutes, but this is exactly how it turns out. Comes out absolutely delicious on there. So
Oh, that's wonderful.
got that going.
How do you taste that?
Go on in there. Go for it.
Look at that. How'd you do that? I wasn't listening.
See, that's what it gets for not listening. Doggone it. Hey, we'll be right back.
Oh, man. Oh, wait, try some of this before
All
we
right,
go.
I wasn't listening.
Try one of those first before we go. Well, I'll tell you what, this is Wisconsin tailgating with Mad Dog and Merrill. We've had a great time here today. I'll tell you what, you folks didn't have a chance to sample that beautiful pork loin yet. So I'm gonna take one of those pork loins right there, and it wouldn't be fair if I didn't take, and remember, pork is done when the juices run clear and they're nice and tender, and you can actually take a nice pork loin like I did
Right.
and make your own steaks.
Yes, you can.
I don't think
Definitely.
people realize that. You don't have to cook it to shoe leather to make it look nice and tender and to be tender. You can cut it down to about 145 to 170 degrees and have a little pink on the inside of that pork. And you can take pork loins and cut them, bread them up, brown them up on the grill. You could actually make yourself a nice little chicken fried steak.
Oh, yeah.
Have some nice
That's right.
gravy.
I mean, chicken fried steak's basically, beef for round steak
There, I
on
did
there.
it again.
It's
I ate in
bread.
front of those folks.
Well, you could do that. I can show you how to do that. You could do that. But I'll tell you what, the chai tea on
Oh,
this
man.
really makes a big difference.
It really does.
I mean, really, for the flavor on that, it just cannot be beat.
VintageBrewingCompany.com. Look online, VintageBrewing.com. And while you're on there, Google MadDogAndMerrill.com. Google MadDogAndMerrill.com, and you'll have a lot of fun there too. So we'll see you folks next time with tailgating. Roll!
Oh.
Mad Dog and Merrill's Midwest Grillin' is a production of Lashbro Visual Communications.